Did you know infinite time does not mean infinite time? I know, how does a concept such as infinity actually have a numerical value? Well, that's because, well, Tower Defense Simulator has actually solved a mathematical problem that's plagued mathematical scientists for years. Why am I using mathematical scientist as a term? See, that's how you know I'm not a mathematician. I use the term mathematical scientist. I am not a mathematician. I am a scientist, though. Nearly. I nearly have a degree. Just come back to me in about 6 months and I'll have a degree, hopefully. Anyways, thanks to my good friend Menton for figuring this out for me. So, there is actually something in the game where you're able to trigger infinite time through a glitch, but you're able to do it in sandbox mode, and you're able to see the effects of infinite time over a longer period of time through timescale tickets. So what you need to do is you need to go to challenges, and you need to go to one of the I guess the not rare ones, the rare challenges. It's one of the challenges that you don't see often. It's the boss rush challenge, because this challenge, I'm not entirely sure what to call this challenge, because apparently it is in the challenge pool, but the problem is it doesn't appear for some reason. I don't know why it doesn't appear, it just doesn't appear. Anyways, that's not particularly relevant. I might talk about this later, but for now, it just is not relevant here. But it uses the intermediate mode thing. But what we need to do is need to go to wave 20. So if we go to wave 20, so desired wave, let's go wave 19. So wave 19, cancel the timer for wave 19. Right, so what would that happen? What would that do? Right, let's timescale it to 10. Then let's wait the time to run down. Right, so now we get infinite. So as you can see here, these are molten enemies here, so you get the molten titan and the molten enemies. So what should appear is the molten boss or the molten warlord. According to Menton, it should be the molten boss. It should be the molten boss, but I think due to the legacy system supporting the molten boss and this being updated to a modern system being the molten warlord, it therefore means the molten boss doesn't spawn in because it should be the molten warlord. As a result, there is no boss to spawn in, and because there's no boss to kill for this wave, you're automatically stuck on an infinite wave. Now, normally that means, well, you have to wait forever, but this is sandbox mode, so you can set your timescale to whatever you want. Now, I think if you use the timescale on the in the UI, you can set up to like 1,000. But if you set up through the timescale here, you can only set up to 10. So through this, you want to set up to, yeah, so you just saw, I just triggered the next wave somehow. Oh, look at these. The enemies are just like showing effects. Cool. And I think I just broke the game. Right, let's restart this. Right. I broke the game. Okay, fair enough. Right, so it should be on wave 19 again. Right, so do this again. Wait until wave. Oh wait, I need to got it. Bot doesn't do that. Right, boss rush. Nope. Need to swap challenges. See, this is really confusing. So we're now back to Ruby Escort. Need to apply turn God on and off again. Now wait for wave 20 to trigger, and then you need to set the timescale to something ridiculous, to 1,000, and then you have to wait for the infinity timer to actually count down. So you only see this if you set the timescale to 1,000, and as you can see, it actually counts down. I'll actually have to go through the footage to see when it starts counting down, but as you can see, infinite does not actually mean infinite. You can actually wait out the infinite timer on game modes. So, therefore, game modes with infinite timers, so that's hardcore mode, they do actually have an ending if you somehow glitched a game to end the infinite timer. The only problem is, how long is that? This is with 1,000 timescale, by the way. So, this is pretty long, even by waiting this down. So, even with this, I have to wait like, what? 70 seconds, which is going to be quite long. So yeah, about a minute afterwards, yeah, we have about 10 seconds left of the infinite timer. So after you wait out the infinite timer, it just restarts the next wave if there is a next wave, and if there isn't a next wave, it just ends the game. So you can actually win the game by waiting out an infinite timer. If you ask me, I estimate the timer to be about 1,999 minutes and 99 seconds from when the infinite timer starts. I don't have any proof of this, just vibes and vibes alone. Then again, the timer does start from about 1499, so yeah, who knows at this point. But the infinite timer is not actually infinite. By the way, with just the time shown on the minute time alone, that is 249 hours. At a very bare minimum, you're waiting 10 days. I think it's much longer than that. I think it's 19,999 minutes, which is 333 hours, which is nearly 14 days. So the infinite timer is about, I would reckon, 2 weeks. Therefore, I believe hardcore mode has 2 infinite timers. Let's check. No, they're actually not a number timers. They're not infinite. But I think, well, I mean, I would say something for like Duck Hunt. You could probably wait out the timer, but that actually does have 100 minutes as its timer. No, so technically for Fallen mode, so Fallen mode has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 infinite timers. So you are potentially looking at about a 98, nearly 100 days continuous gameplay of the same game. Now, I'm just saying, there is a world record to be had here. If you could somehow get the game to stall it long enough to get the infinite waves to last that long. Now, obviously, you have to account for the fact that the game will update and close that game match. So you probably won't reach 100 days. But theoretically, it is possible that you last about 100 days in Fallen mode. Now, that is a challenge and a half. So, if anyone wants to torch themselves, Mr. Beast style, go ahead. I'm not that one because I have a life. Like I said, I'm a scientist. As I said, I have just proven infinite means 14 days. Any scientists want to hit me up? I've just proven the theory of infinity. It's 14 days, according to Tower Defense Simulator. Imagine if I could actually publish a scientific paper out of this. Jesus Christ. However, obviously, this only works in the boss rush game mode because the trigger to actually trigger the next wave, that being the molten boss death, doesn't actually appear. And in sandbox mode, you can make it so that you can't get the vote skip to appear. Otherwise, once the boss reaches the end of the map, that will just trigger the next wave to occur. So typically, you won't be able to wait out the 14 or so days that it will take to get the wait out the infinite timer. But I do recall a case that when back in Outpost 32, there was a glitch where you could actually wait out one of the waves because it was stuck on a infinite timer. I think it was Outpost 32. It might have been Outpost 32. It might have been the Hexscape event. Whatever. I think it was Outpost 32. In any case, whichever game mode it was, if it was Hexscape or Operation Ice, technically speaking, once you reach that game or that wave and you waited out that, or you got that infinite timer glitch, you could have theoretically waited 2 weeks for the game to end or for the next wave to trigger. I mean, technically, you could have just restarted the game and gotten it much quickly, but you could have set a world record, technically, of the longest game in Tower Defense Simulator. But more likely than not, developers would have reset the game. So, yeah, you probably wouldn't have got the record. Who knows, though? Who knows?